What's good, Zach? How you doing, brother? What's good, Brian? Had a great day today. How about you, brother? What's good, Walnut man? You like walnuts? Is that why that's your screen name? I just finished eating some watermelon. I've been eating watermelon. Only other thing I've eaten today was avocado. Everything else, every meal's been watermelon. It's been sending me too. It looked like I've had some old stuff come out of me, which is crazy to me because I didn't think anything else was in me, like any old stuff. I didn't think any old stuff was in me. It shit been blowing my mind, but I'm happy to have it coming out. What's good, Scott? How you doing, man? Better out than in. Exactly. But I've had colonics and everything, man. And it's interesting because I went through a period of having colonics in the beginning of my journey, and I've been eating just fruits for more than 2 years. And to see stuff come out of me that looks like nothing I've eaten in the past 2+ years, I don't know, man. That really got my attention. That really got my attention because that would mean that, oh man, one, it would mean that I'm not as clean inside as I thought I was. Two, it would just go to show, wow, if after eating just fruit for more than 2 years, I still got stuff in me from who knows how long ago. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I've been just kind of thinking about that a little bit. And, it's like, hey, let's work. We still got a lot of work to do. I wish I could see inside though, so I could see like how much work do we have to do. That's something that I don't know. I don't like about the journey, or just like a health journey in general. because you can never see what's going on inside of your body. And so you never really know. Like if you have an issue, right? If you have an issue and say like you do research, then there's going to be like several different options of what it could be. And as you go through those, like you're not going to know which one it is. Chances are you're not going to know which one it is. And so then it's like, man, like it's like for me, health, once you stop eating in alignment with your frugivore nature, health is such a gamble because the so-called experts and professionals, they don't know nothing. Medical error is the third leading cause of death in America. These are the professionals. These are the experts. These are the people that everybody trusts and run to when they're having health issues, and they look to them for answers. And they are the third leading cause of death in America. That's crazy. The top three leading causes of death in America are heart disease, cancer, medical error. The healthcare, what they call the healthcare system. Like, think about that. The healthcare system is the third leading cause of death in America. That's crazy. It just goes to show that they don't know. They don't know nothing about health. Like one of those, out of all of the medical error cases that result in death or permanent disability or something like that, a lot of it is caused by misdiagnoses. And then a lot of it is caused by issuing the wrong drugs to the patients. It's crazy. Like, oh, my bad. I thought you had cancer. You don't have cancer. Matter of fact, ain't nothing wrong with you. It was just a little glitch. And then you gotta live the rest of your life with disabilities, parts of your body missing, organs missing. It's crazy. But like, think about that. Our healthcare system is the third leading cause of death in America. That's crazy. It's not my healthcare system. You see, like when you understand what healthcare really is, then you don't fall for that bullshit. Healthcare is every time you eat, that's healthcare. Every time you drink, if you drink, most people drink. I don't drink anything at all. But I don't know if there's anybody else out there like me that doesn't drink anything. I don't drink water, I don't drink juice, I don't drink nothing. I don't drink tea or anything. But, for everybody that does drink, every time you eat, every time you drink, that's healthcare. When you have to go to a hospital, to a doctor, to a quack, it's because you're no good at healthcare. It's because you're failing at taking care of your health. It's because you're doing it wrong. It's because you're eating the wrong things. You're drinking the wrong things. They can't help you. They don't know what you're supposed to eat. They don't even know what food is. Like, have you ever seen what they serve in a hospital to patients? That shit is just gonna make them sicker. Like, People in the hospital should only be eat. I mean, all of us, like, period, but like especially their food tray should have nothing but fruits on it. Man, them trays be looking like, it looked like prison food. Well, not prison food because they don't serve prison inmates food, but it looks like a prison tray. That's what it looks like. And hospital trays and prison trays look like the trays they serve to kids in public schools. It's all the same shit. None of it is food. Might be like a little piece of fruit in there, but the majority of it, none of it's food. And it all has chemicals in it that's linked to different diseases, ingredients linked to different disease. This is how the healthcare system feeds their patients, with artificial flavors and artificial colorings and artificial preservatives, artificial sweeteners. They're not even feeding their patients food. That's not real food. That's the healthcare system. I mean, that's what they call it. That's not what I call it. I'm just calling it that so you understand what I'm talking about. I call it the sick care system. That's what it is. You are your healthcare system. You are. And when you do a good job at taking care of your health, you don't need to go to a hospital. That's the sick care system. They care for your sickness, or they basically manage your symptoms. That's all that means. People go to them like, they don't think like this. People think they're going to them for help and to get better. And, whatever condition they have, for it to be eliminated. People think they're going to the hospital and to see these quacks for healing. They think healing is going to take place when they go and meet with this quack. And this quack put them on drugs. No healing is taking place. They're poisoning your body even further with drugs. They don't have any medicine. They don't practice medicine. They practice drugs. They practice drug distribution. That's what they practice. There's no medicine in the hospital. Drugs are drugs. They're not medicine. Crack ain't medicine. Cocaine ain't medicine. Heroin ain't medicine. They're drugs. And they all have side effects. That's because they're all toxic. That's what they're giving there. The third leading cause of death. That's just crazy to me. You are your health care. Every time you eat, every time you put something in your body, you're practicing health care. So, yeah, that's pretty deep to me. That's pretty deep to me. Healthcare system. Symptoms with dollar signs? Absolutely. Symptoms mean money. Symptoms mean money. They ain't trying to heal nobody. They just want to manage your symptoms with drugs. That's that long-term revenue. That's what they call it. That's residual income for them. Once they get you in the system and get you on a drug, that's a residual income. Because every month or however long it takes before you have to refill your prescription or get permission to get more drugs, that's money coming in month after month. That's like guaranteed money, because there's very few people in that system that wake up and search for an alternative way, search for a real way to heal, search for a holistic path, something natural. It's very few that's changing their diet. And what's crazy is that's really all you got to do is change your diet. All you got to do is stop eating the shit that's making you sick. But it seems that people would rather keep eating what's making them sick and just take drugs to manage the symptoms. Hey, ain't none of my business. That's what they want to do. That's their life. It's just interesting to me. Like, you like that shit that much that you don't care about your health? You don't want to heal. Like, people don't be wanting to heal. People be wanting to stay sick. And, just you could put them on a drug that, suppresses the pain and the discomfort, and they could keep eating what they want to eat. Shit, that's a win for a lot of people. I can't understand it personally. I mean, the smallest thing could happen to me, and I'm looking at the way I eat. Like, for real. If I get like a bump on my face or something, like, oh shit, like, what is that? I'm looking at my diet. Like, what fruit do I possibly need to, like, I'm just saying, like, I'm exaggerating a little bit. I'm just saying it don't take much for me at all. And I only eat fruit, and I'm still looking at my diet, examining my diet. Like, maybe I need to eat more of this fruit or less of this fruit. Like, it don't have to be like a major catastrophic health event in my life before, I'm looking at the way I eat. I don't know, man. It's just interesting to me. Like, it's like people don't care. It's like people really don't seem to care if they're healthy. That's just, it's like people want to be healthy as long as they don't really have to do anything to be healthy. But if they have to make, certain decisions to be healthy, if they have to let things go that they love to be healthy, it's like if it requires any effort on their part to be healthy, or any sacrifice or any commitment, it's like the health isn't that important. I don't know, man. Like, I don't understand it personally. I don't understand it. You know, they treat the symptoms, not the root cause. That's it. They don't even, I don't even like that wording, because I mean, you right, but I don't like the way they say that. They don't treat symptoms, they suppress them. That's all they do. They suppress symptoms. So if you have pain, the pain is still there. but they numb you so you don't feel it. It's like if you get a tooth pulled, right? They numb the area first so you don't feel it. But as soon as that drug wears off, you feel it. Like the pain never went away. They just numb you so you don't feel it. And that's what these drugs that these quacks give, or these doctors. That's what they do. Like the sickness is still there, the pain is still there, everything is still there. They just numb you so you don't feel it. And for a lot of people, that's cool. It's like, thanks, doc. Like, I'm still sick, but at least I don't feel it. And it's like, well, what about healing? Well, what I got to do? Well, you got to stop eating flesh and blood. No, 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 I'm cool. I'm cool. Now you got to stop drinking coffee. You got to stop eating all these unnatural man-made sugars. And it's, nah. Like, where you get that information from? They start questioning, and then they start getting nah. And I don't know, like, ultimately it's addiction. And I don't know. I'm trying to, I don't know. I know, like, I've been addicted to a lot of things, and I've put myself in a lot of compromising positions. Man, yeah. I can't remember what that's like though. I can't remember what it's like. And eventually I ended up just like, nah, I can't keep doing this. Like, what's really at the root of it all? Like, what's really at the root? Like, why don't people seem to care about their health? Why do people seem to prefer to hold on to these toxic relationships with what they're eating instead of just letting it go and reclaiming their health back? Like, what's really at the root of it? I know for me, and I would say this is universal, this applies to everybody. It has to do with how much love and respect you have for yourself. Right? Because anything you love, you're going to take care of. You're going to value, you're going to cherish it. Right? You're not going to abuse or neglect what you love. You know, if you got a car, you got a brand new car and you love this car, you're going to be washing that bitch like every week, waxing it. You might be taking it to the detailer. Like, you gonna keep that car up looking like it just came off the showroom floor. We take care of, like, whatever we love, we take care of. And so then these people who don't eat food, eat flesh and blood, drink cow's milk, knowing they're not a cow, and eat all of this processed junk. And it's all linked to some sort of, it's not even just linked, like things that people eat, it's linked to several different diseases. You could have like 30 different chemicals and ingredients, or 50 or 100 or more different chemicals and ingredients, and it's all linked to Many of them all linked to the same disease. They're linked to different diseases. Like, why, though? Like, why would anyone do that to themselves? There's no way you love yourself if that's how you take care of your temple. So then, why don't you love yourself? Like, why don't people love themselves? Because ultimately, that's at the root of it. Why don't people value their health? I value my health. That's why I'm on the path that I'm on. And, you know, I had been valuing my health for a lot of years before I got on this path. Because as I was reading ingredients labels, I'm letting things go. Like, I'm still eating a lot of junk. I'm still eating flesh and blood, still drinking cow's milk. But as I'm learning, I'm letting things go. I'm letting things go because I had enough love and respect for myself, for the body that I'm in, to make those changes. I was making changes when no one could look at the way I was eating and tell I was making changes because my diet was so toxic. You remove one thing, you don't even notice it. It makes me think about how this what's his name, JFK, the new health secretary with Trump, um like kind of like waging this war on artificial colors, right? And I see people on social media, they be so excited, like their Jesus just came out of the sky because they're eliminating, like one toxic chemical from, the things that they love to eat. There's like 30 chemicals in there. It's 30 ingredients. All 30 are toxic. How are you so happy because they're just eliminating one? The other 29 are toxic too. Like that, I don't understand that. Like, how does that even matter? Because they just taking one thing out. What about everything else? It's still toxic. There's still chemicals and ingredients in it that's causing disease. I don't know. But how do people not care? How do people not care about that? Like I was talking about eating flesh and blood and just talking about the number of vaccines that these animals get injected with, like what they call livestock. They have vaccine schedules just like our babies, like our children. Like, that's a lot of vaccines that now my kids never, I didn't do that. I learned how to get around all of that. But I have a little bit of knowledge about the vaccine schedules, and I know it's lengthy. There's a lot of vaccines that they want to give our babies and our children to be healthy. Animals got a vaccine schedule too, and it's lengthy. And when you eat the flesh and blood of the animal, you eat the vaccines, like whatever was injected in that animal. So the vaccines, the drugs, the antibiotics, the hormones, the steroids, the estrogens, like all these different, like you eat all of that. And for me, it's like How do you not care about that? How do you not care? Like I don't understand how people don't care about that. And then, I mean, this isn't like people act like when I share these things that I'm just making that I'm just making it up. I could post so much science data from the research, and like the hardcore flesh and blood lovers will be like, cat, fake news. Based on what? Like what are you saying fake news based on? I didn't make this up. This is all over the internet. This is from all of your government organizations, like everybody. Everybody's saying the same thing. And then you have the deaths to prove it. You have the just the number of people suffering from the diseases to prove it. Like, just for example, eating flesh and blood is linked to diabetes. Everybody's eating flesh and blood. Currently, there are over 800 million people with diabetes. People eating just fruit don't have diabetes. This 800 million plus people with diabetes are not fruit eaters. They're flesh and blood eaters. Like, everything meshes. And they're like, fake news, cat. Well, look it up for yourself then. Like, do the research and just show me that it's fake news. It's interesting. See, like, I couldn't ignore things like that. Even at my worst, my most toxic, I couldn't ignore things like that. Because, like, people seem to, I don't know, focus a lot on longevity. Like, a lot of people tell me, like, I've heard like a lot of people say, well, not heard, but read that they know people that lived a certain amount of years, they ate whatever they wanted, yada yada. So and so lived 100 years, 90 years. They ate everything. They ate this. They drank alcohol. They smoked cigarettes. Like, all these different things. But they never talk about the quality of this person's health. They just say this person lived to 99. This person lived to 105. Whatever the number. But they never follow that up with, and they were in excellent health. They never had any surgeries. They were not on any prescription. They were not on any drugs at all. They still drove. They still hiked and went on nature walks. They still went bowling and shooting pool. They still went out dancing. All these, they never follow it up with that. So for me, it's about quality, not quantity. I don't care if I'm not here 5 years from now. I mean, maybe a little bit, just for my son's sake. But that's it. Like, I really don't care. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not trying to outlive everybody. I'm not trying to break any records for living longer than there. I don't care about none of that. It's just however long I'm here, though, I want to have the highest quality of life I can possibly have. And you can't have a high quality life if if your health is shot? How, like, you can't have a high quality of life if you're constantly in and out the hospital. You know, I know, like, I know some of y'all, at least some of y'all, know who Les Brown is. And I was just watching, I was like he was talking about his health. This was a while ago. I was watching this. He was talking about his health. He's had cancer before. I think he's had cancer like a couple times. And in this video, it was just like a reel. I'm listening to him talk, and this dude said that he was on, I don't remember the exact number, but it was a minimum of 70 different prescription drugs. That's crazy. That is not quality of life, not to me. That's a whole job. Just trying to remember what to take and when to take it, keep all of that organized. Just, that's a whole job. It's like a second job. And I'm not like the most organized person in the world. I know I would be taking shit on the wrong day at the wrong time. Had to probably go in the hospital, get my stomach pumped. Like, I took this, I wasn't supposed to take that till tomorrow, and I took it today, and da da da. That's crazy. So quality of life. It's all about quality of life. Like, however long I live, I want to be able to do all the things when I leave that I can do now, that I could do 20 years ago. I don't want to lose any quality of life. So, you know, and if you're going to dialysis 3-4 times a week, that's not quality of life. If you're living with cancer or heart disease, or like, I just recently was posting pictures, you know, like, there's about 150,000 people who have some sort of, have like a body part cut off, amputated every single year due to diabetes. And I posted a couple of these pictures, and oh my God, that I had no idea how bad it could get. And it's literally like, I put a caption that, you know, on one of them that said, when the animals people eat start eating them back. And I mean, like, people having to get their feet amputated, like toes are just gone, like ate up, like big holes in the side of their flesh, like their feet, like just big holes, look like somebody just poured acid right on their skin and it just ate through it. I was like, yo, that's not quality of life. That, no. So I care about that. It's like, why don't it seem like people care about that? Like, I don't understand how people are eating things that cause diabetes and eating things that cause cancer and eating things that cause heart disease. I don't understand it. If somebody told me that, you know, like, watermelon being, you know, one of my favorites of many favorites. If somebody said watermelon causes cancer, I mean, like, say, like, earlier on in my journey, like, I know better now, but just say earlier on in my journey, I gotta look that up. I gotta look it up. Like, I don't care how ridiculous it may sound to me, I could be wrong. And I just feel like I can't afford to be wrong. Not when it comes to my health. I'm seeing, like, every time I go out, I'm seeing people that's overweight and obese. I see diabetics. Sometimes I see cancer, like people with cancer. They don't have no eyebrows, no hair. I see people in wheelchairs. I see people that can just barely move. They can barely, like, I see people that can't even get out the car by themselves. They need help just to get out the car. And then when they get out the car, there's a wheelchair right next to the door. So they don't have to do any walking because they can't walk well. Like, I'm just, every time I go out, I'm always seeing people suffering. And like, I know it was this one time I was standing in a checkout. This lady, she had like a device attached to her back. I'd never seen nothing like that before. So I asked her what it was. And it had something to do with diabetes. It was attached to her back, like planted on there. And when I see all of this, I know it's all diet related. I know that only if they ate or if their eating was in alignment with the frugivore diet, with their frugivore nature, they wouldn't be suffering these things. Like, they would have all their limbs, they would have all their organs, they would have their vision, they would have their hair, they would have nice skin, they would be healthy, they would still have their mobility, they would still have their functionality. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy the amount of suffering that people experience because of their diet. That's crazy. And the flip side of that is it's even crazier the amount of suffering that people could avoid if they changed their diet, but they refuse to. So every time I'm just look like they're everywhere. Everywhere people are suffering, like visible things. Can't walk, can't move, can't function, can't do anything for themselves. Like, everywhere I go, I see it. It's an epidemic. I think that's the right word. I don't know. Pandemic. I don't know. But when I see that, it inspires me to stay on the path I'm on, because none of these people are eating their frugivore diet. Humans are frugivores, whether you like it or not, whether you agree or disagree. That doesn't change the truth. Humans are frugivores. And all of these peoples, every person, there's, like I said, there's over 800 million people with diabetes. Heart disease, statistically speaking, has been the number one cause of death for over 100 years. Like, currently, I read a statistic that said 1 in every 3 deaths, 1 in every 3 is caused by heart disease or heart failure. That's crazy. That's crazy. And cancer, I've read something that said in 2022, I think it was like 20 million people died of cancer. I had to get that. It was a lot. I don't remember. I believe it was like 20 million people died of cancer in 2022. Or no, it was 9.7. I was a little off. It was 9.7 million people died of cancer in 2022. And I remember seeing like a similar statistic for 2024. And it's like, if these frugivores would just eat a frugivore diet, they could avoid all of this suffering. That's deep to me. It's deep because people would rather experience the suffering than eat like the frugivore that they are. And then it's like, fruit is amazing. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm thinking about, like, as kids, like, if our parents, like, if we were sick, right, and our parents would give us what they thought was medicine, and it was nasty, and you didn't want to take it, but they would, I don't know, persuade you to take it, or like they might slip it in with some juice or something, so you really couldn't taste it, or like kind of trick you into tasting it. But like, this is not that. Fruit is amazing. Like, being on both sides, like, most people, really everyone that criticizes eating just fruit has never eaten just fruit. They're not speaking from experience. They have no idea what they're talking about. I've been on both sides. I used to eat like everybody else. I know what that feels like. And now I'm eating just fruit. I know what this feels like. There's no comparison. Like, obviously, right? Because I left the lifestyle I was living for like all my life. I left that after eating just fruits for a short period of time. I left everything I knew for fruit because that's how much better it was. That's how much better I felt eating just fruit. Like, it can't even be put into words. The only thing I can say is I left all of that for this. That's how good it is. That's that. But see, I gave it a try though. I'm not just, I wasn't just judging it. And I thought it was crazy. Like, the first time I heard about eating just fruit, like, the guy wasn't even talking about it as a lifestyle. He was just talking about it as, like a protocol to reverse or, heal disease. That's it. It was just like temporary. But I'm thinking, like, after hearing him say this like a number of times, if fruit is that powerful that it could help you reverse disease, then why would you stop eating it? That didn't make no sense to me. Like, what are you going to go back to? Like, you're telling people to eat just fruit and all fruit diet, and they could heal all of these different diseases. Why would you stop eating fruit? That never made sense for me, to me. And so, yeah, I mean, it was just like, I don't know how long, but it was just a short period of time of eating fruit. I was just like, I'm never eating anything else again in my life. I don't even want to eat anything else no more. It's that amazing. Oh man, it's so good. And then it just gets better and better because the cleaner your system becomes, because when you eat fruit, they clean you out. They clean your body out. They clean your body of toxins and poisons and all the things that's just affecting like your taste buds and just the way you view reality and the way you perceive things. Like, it's cleaning you out, like, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally. It's even going into your relationships and letting you know which relationships you need to let go of. Like, it's doing everything. Like, it's a whole life detox. And there's just no comparison. Like, being on book, there's no comparison. A lot of people feel like they're giving up things. Yeah, I mean, you are. You're giving up everything that's holding you back in life. You're giving up everything that's toxic in your life. You're giving up everything that's making you sick. You're giving up everything that's unhealthy. You're giving up everything that's causing you stress and anxiety and frustration. You're giving up everything that's bad for you. Everything that's helping you create a life that you don't want. Because, say, for example, when you give up flesh and blood, you're giving up something that causes cancer, diabetes, heart disease, liver disease, kidney disease. It causes heart attacks and strokes. That's what you're giving up. Like, are you really giving up anything? I mean, you are if you want, if you're trying to, get cancer, or you're trying to have a heart attack, then I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not giving up anything. It's like leaving a relationship where, like, you just getting your ass beat every day and you're being called stupid and dumb and ignorant and ugly and worthless and useless. Are you really giving up something? Like, you're really not giving up anything. I don't see giving up things that are bad for me. Giving up anything. Fruit, it's just you're just making room for the good things to come in your life. You start eating fruit, it's like it's doing house cleaning. You just getting rid of all the junk, all the trash. You just making room for new things, for good things. That's what it is. You stop eating something that causes cancer, and you start eating something that prevents cancer. That's what the switch looks like. You stop eating things that cause diabetes and you start eating things that prevent diabetes. You stop eating things that cause heart failure and you start eating things that prevents heart failure. You stop eating things that clogs your arteries and you start eating things that cleans your arteries. I don't see that as a sacrifice, as giving up nothing at all. Like, it's a win-win all across the board. There are no L's in this lifestyle. So, and I'm saying this from experience. I'm not just yapping, you know. So, yeah, I've never conducted a live like this before. You want her? No, you good. Let me hop in these comments since I had to break to drain the main vein. See what y'all in here talking about. See if there's any questions in here that I could answer. What about vegetables? Like, people have asked me that question so many times. I don't understand that question because I'm always saying that I've eaten just fruit for over 2 years now. I don't understand that question. Like, I'm just saying, I'm trying to communicate as clearly as possible. So when I say I've eaten just fruits for over 2 years now, what about that is not clear? That I don't eat vegetables, like that I don't eat anything else. What about the way I say that is not clear? Help me out. Help me to say it better. So when people hear me, they know that I don't eat vegetables. Thank you, Munra. Hope I said your name right. What's up, Shan? So tatted. Flaw D-A, I don't even know how to say your name. Flaw Living, whatever. You're just an idiot, man. That's all. I don't waste my time with idiots. Question: when people just eat fruit, how do you know much fruit to consume? I can't answer that on behalf of people. How do you know how much to consume now? You're making it complicated. You've never needed to ask anybody how much to consume before, have you? It's no different on fruit. Like, why would it be different? You eat until you're satisfied. You eat until you don't want to eat no more. Was it rough when you got off the sad and went straight into? I didn't go straight into fruit. So I wouldn't even, I don't know. You strong if you could do that. My journey, it was gradual for me. Like I didn't even I like I a lot of people, that I talk to, um, like they say I want to eat just fruit. I didn't want to eat, like I didn't even know this was a thing. So like my journey is different. I didn't even know this is where I was going. I never had intentions of eating just fruit. It was just more like over the years of me eliminating things from my diet that caused disease. I just kind of like, after a while, got to the end of the line. Like there's nothing else to eliminate. Like I'm standing in the grocery store, like I can't eat nothing in here. And I didn't, at the time, I didn't even think of fruit as food. Like fruit was never, like I never even thought about fruit. Fruit wasn't food to me. The food to me then was McDonald's. Like it was all the traps. It was all the traps that I talk about now and expose. That's what I used to think food was. I used to think flesh and blood was food, and cow's milk and things made from cow's milk. That's what I thought food was. Fruit wasn't food to me. I never ate fruit. Like that, it was just like a game I didn't play. Like what I'm gonna do with some fruit? I don't know fruit. That's how I used to be. So I wasn't, but when I started, I was just learning about what I was eating. I'm reading labels. And as I'm learning about what I'm eating, oh shit, this linked to cancer and diabetes. then it's like I'm not eating that no more. And that was like my process over a period of years until, like I said, I came to the end of the line. And then I heard the guy I was talking about talk about eating just fruit to reverse disease. And that's when I started gravitating more in that direction. And then for me, I was eating a lot of vegetables. I was eating a lot of vegetables before I started like really eating fruits. I was almost like all vegetables for like a period of time before the fruit. And then I learned about the vegetables. Like I was eating frozen bagged vegetables and they were amazing. But then I learned about them. Like I just remember comparing the frozen bagged vegetables to the raw vegetables. They didn't look nothing alike. The color of the frozen vegetables looked fake, especially when comparing like the raw vegetables. Why the raw vegetables are not this bright, vibrant green? Peas are not a bright, vibrant green. Like all the vegetables I was eating, like the colors, they just looked artificial. Like it just wasn't sitting right. And so I ended up just leaving the vegetables alone. They were cheap too. I was paying like you can get like a whole bag of like a California medley. I think like 99 cents or something. I used to have a shopping cart with like 40 bags of frozen vegetables in it. But then as I started just paying attention to the vegetables and things, and then like it just wasn't sitting right on the inside. And like I'm looking at the raw vegetables, like, no, I'm cool on them. Like there was just nothing appealing about vegetables to me. They don't look delicious, like they look ugly, and I don't like the way they taste. So like I'm not cooking though. Everything I'm eating is raw. So that's different. If you cook and you season, you can eat anything. But when you only eat what you eat in its raw natural state, that changes everything. You realize you don't like a lot of things that you think you like. So I just got to this point where if I don't like it, I'm not going to eat it. I'm not going to make it taste good. I'm just going to not eat it. And so that like wiped the vegetables out for me. So like my getting to just fruit, it was gradual. It was very gradual. Just going night and day, like, nah. I I mean, if you could do it, you a beast. But like now, I they call it mono eating, and mono eating, if you don't know, if there's somebody that doesn't know, you just eat one fruit at a time. And a lot of people, like, I don't know, people that do that typically do that as a type or as a way to accelerate detox. They may do that as a way to like cleanse their body more aggressively or to reverse a disease. It's temporary. It's usually temporary though. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm the only one to do it. I'm the only one I know that like it's just the way I eat. I only eat one thing at a time now. But I couldn't eat like that when I first started. Like I had to work my way up to being able to eat like that. So yeah. Oh, look at Oliver, Creative Group. You're an idiot too. Trying to convince a fool is like trying to hit the wind with a baseball bat. I don't know, but I don't know what that means. But I mean, I know what it means, but I don't know. I don't know how that's being said. What's up, T? Can you please can you please share how you started? I literally just shared that. I didn't even see your request, but I didn't. So I'm wondering if you saw. I mean, like if you heard what I just said. Um, yeah, different format this time, Christian. I don't know. The shit just happened. It just happened. But yeah, did you do some fasting? I used to fast. I used to do fasting. I didn't fast to like prepare myself for eating just fruit. Like I've had people ask me that before. You know, I didn't do that. Like for me, I went through this process of, eliminating things and then I just like made the switch. But I'd done fasting like throughout my toxic life. Like lemonade diet. It's called the Master Cleanse. I did that a couple times. I did a water fast thing, like 7-day water fast. Um, so like different things throughout my journey. What's up, Venus? Yeah, that's crazy, Jordan. It's crazy how people who are like diabetics will be concerned about the sugars, the quote sugars in the fruit. I don't call it what's in fruit sugar. I just don't, because sugar is man-made from what I've seen. Like when I'm in the grocery store and I see a bag says sugar on it, that's not in fruit. That's man-made. So I don't call what's in fruit, what's responsible for fruit being sweet, sugar at all, because it can cause confusion. But that's a really interesting point. Like they be so concerned about fruits. They be eating cake and cookies, pies, candy bars. It's like, how do you make that make sense? What's up, Monica? Yup, yup. I'll check it, Amunra. Am I saying your name right? What's up, Coach J? Coach J don't play. So is there something wrong with vegetables? That's why I asked. Okay, that's a totally different question. That is a totally different question than what about vegetables? Do you not eat them? That question makes sense. Is there something wrong with them? And so I hope you heard me in what I just said. There's more that could be said about vegetables. I don't really get into it all like that. Ultimately, for me, I just don't like them. You could get into, like vegetables having like defense chemicals and oxalates and different things like that. but it's not even like that deep for me. I don't like them. They're nasty. That's it. And I'm not going to make them taste good. I'm not going to trick myself into liking them by mixing a bunch of them in a salad and putting a dressing on them and putting some other things. Because, like, when I used to eat salad, like, my salads were whole meals. Like, they really weren't salads. Like, I'd have flesh and blood in there. I'll have something made from cow's milk in there. I had, like, I don't know, like some fruit in there, like cranberries or something. I'd have something crunchy in there, fucking breadcrumbs, like the dried fried, like I got all kind of shit in there with some vegetables, with some vegetables. So that's not liking vegetables though. And a lot of people think they like what they like because they don't eat it by itself. If you want to know what you really like, just start eating things by themselves. You'll see what you don't like. And so, like for me, I just started, you know, I got to this point to where I just mono eat is because I was just realizing, like, even with fruits, like I had combos with fruits. Like I used to eat dates and nuts, and that's a banger. Like that combo is a, oh my God. But if I ate them by themselves, the dates I didn't really like. And I could only eat like a couple dates at a time by themselves. But if I ate them with nuts, I'll eat like a half container of dates. So, just realizing what I that's kind of like interesting to me how we don't even know what we like. Like there's just I didn't even know what I liked, until I start eating things by themselves. And then it was like, okay, I don't like this. I'm not gonna eat it no more. I don't like this. I don't. And so there's so many things that I thought I liked that I didn't like. And I just started letting them go. So yeah, that's that's really what it is with me and the vegetables. Fruit is the only thing that I like, that I can eat and enjoy and make a meal out of in its raw natural state. I don't have to do anything to fruit to make it taste good. I don't have to season it or cook it or anything. I don't have to do nothing. And that's the way we're supposed to eat. That's how you know how you're supposed to eat. That's how you know whether you're a carnivore or an omnivore or an herbivore or a frugivore or whatever vor that you want to name. That's how you know. If you just eat whatever you eat in its raw natural state, experiment with it. Just start eating a bunch of try grass, try leaves, try plants, try flesh and blood, try mushrooms, whatever. Whatever it is, though, just eat it in its raw, natural state. And then you try fruit and see which one you love. You're not gonna you're not gonna like the flesh and blood at all. You're not even gonna you probably won't even bite it. Like just looking at it, you're not gonna eat that. You're probably not going to eat mushrooms. We're not supposed to eat fungus. Vegetables. There's people that like vegetables. Like people have told me that they enjoy vegetables in their raw natural state, like they could just eat spinach leaves, for example, by themselves, raw, and they like them. I'm not here to tell anybody what to eat. or how to eat. I'm just here to say this is how we're supposed to eat. This is humans are, what's the word? Anatomically and biologically. There's another word that I'm just gonna leave that alone. But anatomically, biologically, physiologically, that's the word. Hands down, frugivores. Period. Like there's no science that can refute that. It's really just common sense. Like if you just do what I just said, if you just prove it to yourself. Most people don't like vegetables raw. Internet, like most people are not gonna just eat spinach leaves. And I don't even think like the person I'm thinking about that told me this, she's not making a meal out of it. Like just think about it like this. If you were hungry, like of all the things I just named, if you were hungry, like really hungry, and you needed to eat a meal, but whatever you ate, you had to eat it in its raw, natural state. And you just had to eat one thing at a time. And you couldn't cook it, you couldn't season, you couldn't make it taste good. What would you make a meal out of? Would you make a meal out of grass, out of plants, out of fungus, out of vegetables, out of flesh and blood, or out of fruit? It's really common sense. Like when you put it like that, and if you're honest with yourself, are you going to eat raw flesh and blood, or would you eat raw apples? Raw flesh and blood or raw watermelon? Raw flesh and blood or raw honeydew or raw cantaloupe or raw mangoes or peaches or plums or pears or strawberries, blueberries, raspberries? That's how you know. It's not complicated at all. It's really common sense. It really is. But we've been programmed, brainwashed, conditioned. Like people don't eat one thing at a time. Like we're supposed to, that's like they call it mono eating, but that's just the way every species in nature eats. Everything just eats one thing at a time, like in their natural habitat. That's just the way we're supposed to eat. Like this isn't even anything special. I had to work my way up to this point. Like I had to grow a lot to get to this point. But it's like once you're here, it's just like this is just what I'm supposed to be doing. It's like I'm not even doing nothing special. Like eating fruit. I'm not even doing nothing special. This is just what I'm supposed to be doing. It's like I don't know. I think I'm about to use this analogy because I'm a single parent. But it's like buying your child clothes and food to eat. And then, spending time with them, loving them, and then, wanting to be praised, wanting to receive accolades, applause. You want to be acknowledged. You want recognition for doing these things. It's like you're not doing anything special. You're just doing what you're supposed to do. That's your child. That's what you're supposed to do. So it's like me, like eating just fruit. It's like it intrigues a lot of people, but I'm not doing anything special. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. That's it. That's it. Even with just eating one fruit at a time. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. And it's a journey just getting to this place because we've all been brainwashed and conditioned, and as a result, so disconnected from nature. Like most people haven't even heard of a frugivore before. All we know is carnivore, omnivore, herbivore. Most people have never even heard of a frugivore. I've never heard of a frugivore until after being on this journey for a while. It's like, a frugivore? What's that? Like, that's you. Like, really? I thought I was an omnivore. I thought I was a carnivore. So yeah, but yep. And on that note, I'll be trying to keep this to like an hour and a half because I'll be having other things to do. But yeah, I'm about to get off of here. It's so simple that people can't believe it is so simple that they have to complicate it. Yeah, I don't know how to say your name, but that's true, which is really interesting. That's really interesting to me. It's like if it's simple, like, no, that can't be right. It's like, no, it has to be complicated. And it's just the opposite. Truth is found in simplicity. Life is found in simplicity, not complexity. So yeah. AK, one more. Do you still have sometimes certain cravings? What about protein intake? Protein intake, that's not a concern for me. I don't eat protein. And I just seen some information about that I'm gonna have to look into the whole protein thing more, because I had always read, and you probably read this too, or seen this or heard this, that amino acids are the building blocks for protein. And so you eat amino acids, your body creates the proteins it needs from those amino acids. And so lately, though, I've been reading that you eat protein or proteins, because there's, sheesh, thousands of different types of protein or proteins. But yeah, I've been reading lately that you eat protein, and then your body breaks the proteins down to amino acids and then uses the amino acids. So it's like the exact opposite of what I had always read before. And I'm just like, how can it be both? Can it be both? So I'm not going to speak too much on the protein um, until, like, I need to, look more into that, because I had never seen any conflicting information, you know, other, just kind of contradicting that amino acids are the building blocks of protein. And when you eat amino acids, your body creates protein from those amino acids. Like, that's what I had always read, like all different sources and everything. Like, I knew that from when I was toxic, like really toxic, like eating, not even eating food, because there was a supplement I used to take, because I used to be big on protein. for building muscle, for working out. And there was a supplement I used to take because I used to take protein powders. But this supplement was just amino acids. And this is when I first learned about this. And, it's like the amino acids, your body will convert these amino acids into protein, and you get far much more protein, I don't know, did I say it right? You get much more protein from this little can of amino acids that can be utilized by the body than you would get from a protein shake. Because I had read, I don't know, some like only 20% of the protein in a protein, supplement, like the shakes, the powders, are utilized by the body. With I think this was called, I don't know, amino pure or something, I don't know. But 99% of the protein was supposed to be utilized by the body. That's when I first heard this. And, since then I had always been reading, amino acids are the building blocks of protein. And when you eat amino acids, your body converts those into protein, whatever protein that your body needs. And like amino acids were like Lego blocks, and your body would create the proteins that it needs from these Lego blocks. And then, like I said, recently, I'm like, you eat the protein and then your body breaks them down into amino acids, then utilize so yeah, that's the only thing I can say about that. So, but just from a nature perspective, right? Humans are frugivores. Humans are fruit eaters. Fruit does not contain protein. Most fruits, like even the fruits that do have protein, is minimal. It's minimal. You're not going to find a fruit with 20 grams of protein, 15 grams of protein, 30 grams of protein, 50 grams of protein. And there's a lot of things like that I've seen about protein. It's like coming to my mind. But man, I just posted something about all the diseases linked to animal protein too. But when I look at fruits, like knowing that we are fruit eaters, and when I just, observe the makeup of fruits, for me, one of the greatest characteristics of fruit is hydration. And I feel like that's what I need more than calories or anything else, is hydration. Like when I finish working out, for example, and say like I'll finish working out, say like I'll have watermelon. Watermelon after a workout is so revitalizing and energizing. It's nothing like having a protein shake after a workout that just makes you feel heavy and sluggish, or eating, like some flesh and blood, or just anything heavy. Like the hydration of fruit after a workout is life. It feels amazing to eat fruit after a workout, like a hydrating fruit. Like I wouldn't even like, not even like nuts or anything, like, or dates, or I'm talking about like watermelon or honeydew, like a melon, or berries, or like fruits like that. It's just, man, it's really energizing and everything. And when I bite into a piece of fruit and just get that surge of hydration, it's like that's what I needed. I don't need a bunch of calories after a workout. Even when I think I'm hungry and I bite into a piece of fruit, like a really sweet and juicy fruit, it's like that's what I needed. I don't need a lot of calories weighing me down, making me feel tired and sluggish and slow and just zapping all my energy from me. I need to be revitalized, rejuvenated, energized. And that's what the juicy fruits do. So I'm still learning. I've only been eating fruit for, 2+ years. I'm still learning. I'm gonna always be learning while I'm on this path, but I'm not listening to these doctors, to these quacks, to these nutritionists. I'm not listening to JFK, or I'm not listening to nobody. Like I'm learning from nature. What does nature show me? What does nature teach me? Because people don't know what they're talking about. Like I started off talking about how this isn't my healthcare system, but I started off talking about how the healthcare system is the third leading cause of death in America. That's crazy. So they obviously, all of the experts, none of them know what they're talking about. How are you the third leading cause of death? Third to heart disease and cancer. How are you third? That's crazy. 15, Google this, look this up. Every month, 15,000 Medicare patients die due to medical error, due to the healthcare system. This is every single month. 15,000 Medicare patients die because of the healthcare system. That's crazy. I'm not listening to them. I don't give a fuck what they talking about. I don't even want to hear it. What is nature teaching? That's what I'm learning from. What does nature teach? So knowing that we are fruit eaters by nature, when I look at the makeup of fruits, the characteristics of fruits, especially the fruits that I love the most, they're all sweet and juicy. They don't have protein. And when you eat what you enjoy eating in its raw, natural state, you will automatically be in alignment with your frugivore nature. You don't have to try. You just got to stop eating shit that you don't like. You just got to stop making things taste good so you can eat them. You just got to stop eating things when they're, mixed with 20 or 30 or 50 other things that you would never eat by itself. You know what I mean? Like you mix flour with egg and, I don't know, fucking butter. I don't remember all the water, whatever, all these different ingredients. And you mix it all up and you put it in the oven and you cook it. And now you got a cake. And then you put some icing on it with a cherry on top. And, you got a cake. But you would never eat flour by itself. But now in this cake, you're eating flour. You're eating a lot of flour. But you would never eat flour by itself because you're not supposed to. So if you eat just what you enjoy eating in its raw, natural state, you will automatically, you're going to be a fruit eater. Simple as that. So, if you stop tricking yourself into eating things that you don't like, then you can learn from nature. And everything that, it's the sweet and juicy fruits that make me feel the best. They give me the most energy. They digest the fastest. They make me feel the lightest, the fastest, the quickest. I mean, I could just go. I just go all day. I don't need, I mean, every now and then, I'll take a nap, especially like if I'm quote bored and I'm just sitting around, not really doing nothing. But like for the most part, I don't need to take naps. I don't need to drink coffee or energy drinks or all these things that people do because they don't have enough energy to get through their day. Like I be working out at like midnight. I think last night I was working out, it was like 12:30 in the morning. Like I'm into the next day now and I'm working out. I've been doing that regularly, like lately. But I'm just saying, like some days I'm up at 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, and I'm not drinking no herbal teas and I'm not taking no supplements. I'm not doing, and I'm just going all throughout the day. I could look at several jobs throughout the day. My son is an athlete, plays baseball, got practice. I could take him to practice. You know, he got a dog. I could take the dog for a walk while I'm at the practice and go for another walk like later in the day, like a nature walk, and just all kind of like I'm just going. I'm working out every day. It's all fueled by fruit. I work in construction and like my work can be really physical sometimes. Like we were just doing a parking lot repair where we had to tear out this asphalt and repair it. And it was probably like 90 degrees outside and probably took, I don't know, about like 6 hours. And we just going like nonstop, like no breaks. I wasn't thriving like this when I used to eat the way I used to eat. I used to take hella naps. I used to drink hella coffee. I used to drink hella pop, trying to find energy. It's not an issue. Protein don't do that for me. Protein has never done that for me. So, like I said, I used to drink the protein shakes and take the protein supplements and all of that. And so I could speak from being on both sides of the fence. And eating just fruit, I feel way better eating fruit, especially the sweet and juicy fruits. Even if I eat nuts, which are fruits, but they're not hydrating, they're not sweet. I mean, they're I mean, they taste amazing, but they don't have any hydration properties or hydrating properties. And then the fact that they're, I don't know, like to me, they could be hard to stop eating. That's why I don't fuck with them no more. And because of that, they just kind of like sit in my gut. They make me feel heavy because I eat so many of them. And then I'm sluggish. I've uh I've taken naps after eating too many nuts before. Like I've eaten so many nuts. Like I had to leave them alone. But it's like you don't even realize how many you're eating because they're so small. And say like I could be doing work on the computer and I got like a little can of nuts on the side and I'm just popping them while I'm working, doing whatever I'm doing. And then it could have been like a brand new container. And then by the time like I look at the container and they're almost gone. And it don't even feel like I ate that many. And then it's like once it kind of like catches up with you. And then it's like now I'm fucking tired. I'm feeling sluggish, you know. And I'm not saying nuts are bad or anything. Like I'm just saying I don't have self-control when eating them. Like I love them so much. I just and because of that, like if you just, like had like a handful of nuts or something or a couple handfuls or something like that, they still don't digest as well as the sweet juicy fruits do. Like it still takes longer to break those down and for them to digest. And I don't even like that. anymore, like that feeling. And nuts are one of your, when it comes to protein, nuts are probably the highest protein fruit that you can eat in its raw natural state. And I just don't like the way, I love the way I feel when I'm eating them, but I don't like the way I feel when I'm done eating them. And again, I just want to say this again, like a big part of that is because I eat so many. I eat a lot. I eat a lot. Like I was getting pistachios from this company, and I signed up for a subscription. That's how many nuts I was eating at the time. I signed up for a subscription, like auto ship. And they had recommended auto ship of, I think, like every 3 months. And I had to bring that down to like every 3 weeks because I got 5 pounds of pistachios in my living room right now that I forgot to cancel the auto ship on. 5 pounds. And I could eat those in less than a week. So that's why I had put my auto ship, I think it was like to every, no, it wasn't every 3 months. They recommended every 3 weeks, and I moved it to every week because I could go through 5 pounds of pistachios in less than a week, and I didn't want to run out. So that's how, just to give you an idea how many nuts I would eat, I had to stop. It's like, So like, you know, if you could eat like a handful or two of nuts and you good, you don't, then, you know, that's probably cool. Like nuts are, like they have a whole lot of health benefits. I couldn't do that though. I couldn't do it because like it just gives you, like it gives you an experience. Like for me, it gives me an experience that I don't want to end. Like it just feels really good eating them when you're eating them. But then when they're sitting in your gut because you ate so many and you're heavy and you're sluggish and you're tired and you're slouching in your chair now because your stomach is so full, I don't like that. So I haven't eaten, I mean, I really haven't eaten. It's been a little while. You know, the only time I've eaten nuts, say like in the past month, is if I, like in the past, I would go to like a Whole Foods or Fresh Time, and you know they got the bulk bins, and I would just help myself to a couple handfuls. I'm I stopped buying them. I haven't bought nuts in a while, you know. And so, and now just recently I stopped doing that. I stopped going to the bulk bins. And it's not easy. It's not easy. I'll be wanting to go. Like it'd be a little challenge staying away from there. But I've been doing it. I'm not because I don't like the way I don't like the way I feel. Like, so yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot extra. I don't even know why I even start saying all of that. Because I know the question that I was asked had nothing to do with nuts. Oh, but it did have to do with protein. That's okay. That's why I remember now. But yeah, so that's what it is. That's what it is with the protein. You know, a lot of people, like, y'all got to stop. Man, people don't get it. Y'all got to stop listening to people that get rich when you get sick. All of your health advice, all of your nutrition advice, everything you hear, everything you've taught, everything you believe was taught to you by people who get rich when you get sick. And the more of us that get sick, the richer they get. The more of us they could put on prescription drugs, the sicker the richer they get. You got to stop listening to these people. These people don't care about your health. Again, the healthcare system is the third leading cause of death in America. Third. You gotta stop listening to these people. They don't know what they're doing. Like look at their track record. Their track record shows you they have no idea what they're talking about. I don't listen to them. But see, this is why I'm doing what I don't know, like very few people are doing. So I don't listen to them no more. I learn from nature. We're supposed to learn from nature. I start learning how to listen to nature and just, you know, observe what nature is teaching. That's what I follow. Because see, nature doesn't get rich if you get sick. Nature doesn't have a prescription drug to sell you. Nature doesn't have an agenda. Nature is not trying to control you. You know, nature is not in it for the money. Nature doesn't love money. Nature doesn't lie. People lie. People love money. They love power. And they'll lie to get it. They don't give a fuck. And then these people, they don't know you. Like, why would these people care about you? They don't know you. They don't even know who you are. Like, you don't even exist to them. People think they doctors and everything care about them, supposed to care. Why? You don't care about your doctor. When's the last time you called your doctor? Like, hey, what's up, doc? Just calling to check up on you, see how you doing. Hey, I wanted to bring you a gift. Da 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 da. You don't call your doctor, check up on, see how they doing, show love. You don't care about your doctor. People only go to the doctor because they need something from them. They don't care about that man or that woman, and they don't care about you. They're at work. That's it. They're there to pay the bills, to pay for that vacation home, to pay for, that boat, that yacht, whatever it is. That's it. They're there to support their family, take care of their children, all these types. They don't care about you. They're not there to care about you. Man, I'm about to get off here because I could really start talking about this, about medical school and what they learn, like how they are taught not to care about you. They're taught that. Yeah, I could start talking about that. I'll be on here for so long, man. And I know that would go into something else. But yeah, learn from nature, you know. And so all of that from protein, asking about protein. So yeah, when I look and see that fruits don't have protein, obviously I don't need it. Not in the way that people say I need it. Like, I don't understand this obsession with protein. Like, that's very interesting to me. I never even knew there was such an obsession, for protein. Because I mean, I had it only when I was trying to build muscle. But the most people that's talking about protein, they're not even trying to build muscle. Most people that talk about protein, they fat, overweight, out of shape, couldn't do one sit up, couldn't do one push up, one chin up, can't bend down, touch their toes, talking about protein. Like, you obviously don't know what you're talking about. If I see somebody like that talking about protein, that's letting me know even further, stay away from protein unless you want to look like him or her. But yeah, what up, James? I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. I don't know how. A Stewart. Took me a minute to figure out your name, but I got it. I appreciate you, A. Stewart, Sacramento, California, in the building. This is my last question, man. I ain't taking no more after this. How hard was it to start eating fruit until you're full? See, I don't, shit, this probably gonna take me, this gonna take me into well into 11 o'clock, but I'm gonna go ahead and answer it. The thing, okay, so the thing about when you start eating, okay, how do I say this? You have to learn how to eat all over again. Everything we've been taught about eating, how to eat, it's all wrong. I don't eat to get full. I don't want to feel full. When you feel full, you feel sluggish. You feel tired. I want to feel light, energetic. I don't eat to get full. You're not supposed to. I just eat to feel satiated. I eat to contentment. I eat to be satisfied. And so, one part of that, like there's several different aspects to this, but a main one is we don't even know what hunger is anymore. Like we don't know. You live in America, you've probably never been hungry. You probably don't even know what it means to be hungry. Most of the time we eat, we're not eating because we're hungry. We're eating for other reasons. We're eating from out of stress. We're eating out of boredom. We're eating out of habit. We're eating to be social. We rarely eat because we're truly hungry. So most of us overeat. Right? So all this eating 3 meals a day and all this shit, and it's cool when you eat. I eat a lot, but what I eat is mostly just liquid. The foods I eat is like 80% liquid, 90% liquid, 92, 95% H3O2 liquid. It's not like I'm not even really eating solid food because it's mostly liquid. Everything I eat is mostly liquid. So it digests really fast. I don't want to feel full. I don't like the way feeling full feels. Like I said, being on both sides and being able to compare the two. I'm done with feeling full. That's one of the reasons I let nuts go. It feels much better. Just you eat till you're satisfied. And like you got to learn what that is. You got to learn what real hunger is, which I've said this before in a video when 2023, when I ate just watermelon for 160 days, this was just kind of like, something I learned from that experience, because watermelon is a super low calorie food, super low calorie. It's like between 92 to 95% liquid. And so when I would feel like I was hungry and wanted to eat, watermelon, just the first bite of watermelon and all of that sweet, juicy goodness, it's mostly liquid. I would feel better just from the first bite. I'm thinking I need calories. But obviously, that's not true. If I'm eating something like watermelon, which is super low calorie, I didn't need calories. I needed hydration. I needed the natural sweetness in the fruit, which, you know, like some people call it sugar. I don't even like to call it anything. But, you know, for clarity purposes, you could call it sugar. I don't know. I think fructose would be better. Whatever you call it, you know, just so you know what I'm talking about. But it was the combination of those two ingredients or those two properties that just, I mean, instantly just eliminated that feeling of hunger. Instantly. And so we've been led astray so far away from nature. Like we gotta, I mean, really, I ain't gonna say we got to, but I had to, I had to learn what hunger is and isn't. I had to learn how to eat, when to stop eating. You eat, do you stop eating when you're stuffed? No, like I used to all the time. But no, you don't want to. When you eat, you're supposed to have energy after you eat. You're not supposed to be tired and sluggish after you eat. I used to always eat and want to go to sleep after and think that was good eating. I mean, I'm unbuttoning my pants and unzipping them to let my stomach hang out, and I'm slouching down. I can't even sit up straight no more, wanting to lay down. I used to say this all the time, that like the traps I used to go to, I used to say, if you don't know, I call restaurants traps. But I used to say they should have a bed in here. They should have couches in here. So after you finish eating, you could just go lay down and take a nap. I used to say that all the time. And I really meant that. That's how I used to feel after I would eat. That's not how you're supposed to feel after you eat. You're supposed to say, like, you eat, you should be able to work out as soon as you finish eating. I mean, do a full workout, full intense workout after you finish, right after you finish eating. When you finish eating, you're supposed to be energized, feel rejuvenated, revitalized, ready to go, not ready to lay down. You know, so I had to relearn so much, and I'm still relearning. So I don't eat to get full. No. And as much as people eat in society, don't nobody know what hunger is. Don't nobody know. Nobody's been like, you could go days without food. And most people are not eating food anyway, but just saying, you could go days without eating. Let me say it like that. You could easily go days without eating. I mean, when I was super toxic, I went 7 days without eating. Just 7 days on. I did 7 days on water. I did no eating, and I did like 21 days on a master cleanse, which is basically just a lemonade diet. All you do is drink lemonade. You make it yourself. It's organic lemons, organic maple syrup, and organic cayenne pepper. You mix those three. I did like 21, 22 days. I did that twice. One time I did it for 22 days. So that just goes to show that you can go without eating. So when people think like you eat 3, 4 times a day, 5 times a day, you're not hungry. And when you eat, unless you're eating fruit, because fruit digests really fast. So you can eat fruit, like you can eat some watermelon and then like an hour later want some more, something else to eat, because that's digested and used up. But the way most people eat, though, they're eating things that are heavy and dehydrating, and it just zaps their energy instead of gives them energy. you're not hungry a few hours later after eating that. So you're eating again. It's not because you're hungry. You hit, like a lot of people think that little rumbling in the stomach means hunger. That's not hunger. That has nothing to do with hunger. That little discomfort, and people say you got the grum bellies. That's not hunger. That has nothing to do. But I had to learn that because I had always thought that meant I was hungry. Like my stomach is giving me a sign. It's time to eat. We're hungry. We haven't eaten in 2 hours. We're starving down here. And I thought that's what that meant. So I'm just saying there's so much that has to be unlearned and relearned. It's like you just gotta start over. You just gotta start from scratch if you want to get in alignment and eat for optimal health and just thrive. Like I'm thriving like never before. That's why I'll never go back. Like I don't struggle eating just fruit, not even in a society where there's traps everywhere. There's advertisements, billboards, there's junk mail, it's everywhere. Everywhere. People eating it. The 4th just passed. Everybody was cooking their flesh and blood, had rib cages and fucking dead birds on the grill everywhere. And I ain't gonna sit here and lie and say the shit didn't smell good, because some of those people really knew what they was doing and it smelled amazing. But I don't want it though, because I know what it really is. I would never go back to eating that. Never. Just because eating fruit feels so much better. I feel better. I look better. Like everything. It's just a win, 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 win. There are no L's. So, yeah, fruits bring natural high as well. That's a fact, man. It's the highest frequency of energy. So you gotta remember, everything you eat is energy. Everything is energy, even if it's flesh and blood. Everything is energy. And fruit is the highest frequency of energy that you could put in your body. Flesh and blood is the lowest. Like, I don't know how accurate this is, but I've read that like food energy or energy in the things we eat is measured in angstroms. ANGSTROMS. That's the measurement of energy in what people eat. And so fruit is like 8,000 to 9,000 angstroms. Flesh and blood is 0. It's 0. And then there was this other test. I don't know the name of it, but I've posted it, on social media before. And there's a comparison. There's this scientific process where they can actually see the energy in things people eat. And so they had a piece of like just a chunk of flesh and blood. And there was like little sparks coming off of it, But then they had a picture of an apple, and that apple was lit up. It was lit up like, I don't know, like downtown Las Vegas on a Saturday night. It was lit up, just beaming. Fruit is the best thing you can put in your body. Being that everything is energy, and then we are what we eat, meaning we are the energy that we eat. For me, it only makes sense to eat the highest frequency energy possible. if I am what I eat, then I'm trying to eat the best every time. And so, yeah, I knew I was going to be talking for a minute. But yeah, you got to unlearn, you got to start all over. Like if you really trying to get right, everything we've been taught is a lie. But it's because there's people that get rich when we get sick. So you like, do you really think they're going to tell us and teach us how to be healthy when they love money and they get rich when we get sick? No, they're going to make you think they're teaching you how to be healthy. That's the idea, to make you think they care about you and they care about your health and that they want you to be healthy. They make you think that they care about that money. That's what they care about. They care about the money. And so, yeah, on that note, I'm going to try this again. But I'm about to get off of here. I'm about to get off of here and I'm about to go work out. And it's great talking to you. I really didn't talk to many of y'all though. Like this live was a lot different than the lives I usually do. But I mean, it was great having y'all on though. I see there's a lot of people on that I've never seen before, a lot of new people. Welcome to y'all. Had a few trolls. I've never had trolls really on here before. I had a few trolls, but yeah. Welcome to all of you, especially, the new people who never tuned in before. Hope you all have a great evening. And I'm on here every Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you was feeling alive, you want to catch me when I come on, that's when I'm on. Every Monday, 9 p.m. EST. Talk to y'all soon.